Very well.
Okay, what? I two, I three. Okay, oh, I two, I three. Hey, beautiful people, Success Mentor Dante J. Worth, and I'm back with another video right here on Audacious Believer TV. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, I need you to make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you like this video. And make sure that you are commenting down below.
3 things you gotta do.
Yeah, 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. I said them right. Okay. Make sure that, because me and my team absolutely love to read your comments. Now, tonight, we are being joined by the beautiful, the fabulous, the awesome. Who are you, darling?
I am Ebony Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
Hi,
Now tonight I invited her here. She's an author, she's a speaker, she's a coach, and I invited her here tonight to talk about how your story can become a book.
Yes.
So before we talk about the people's story, what's your story?
Oh, child, where we gonna start with? I would say my story began with me needing the purpose in life and not knowing it.
Okay.
And so when my journey to becoming an author began because I was in a situationship. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah,
one of those. It wasn't really defined, but we were defined in the confine of his room.
Brothers, get it together. That's all we're trying to say. We ain't saying nothing else.
Confine of his room. And so I began to become fed up with it. And so the more I was angry with him, the story just popped in my head. And I started working on that story instead of working on him. And he kind of faded to black like Jay-Z. Faded black type of thing. And then next thing you know, I got a book.
There you go.
Started publishing. Then I told you earlier, the more you learn, the less you pay.
Wow.
And the more people pay you.
Yes.
So now people pay you.
Say it one more time for the people, because they didn't hear you in the cheap seats over there.
Those cheap seats. Listen. The more you learn. Let me slow it down. For those taking notes. The more you learn. The less you pay.
Yes.
Okay? Got that?
Got that. They got it.
The more you learn, the less you pay. The more people pay you for what you learn. That's intellectual property.
Yes. Yes. So
People pay him for what he knows.
they do. I love y'all too.
Thank you. Thank you to all 9 of my clients. I love y'all. And to the people who are coming now, thank y'all.
So you just got back from Miami. So your clients just released their first book. What was that experience like for you, working with them and helping them extract that story out of their head?
It's amazing because I read their raw material and I read it in 3 different parts. But the main part is, I need you to give me everything. People want to dab. Oh, you know, this how it was with my father.
Yes.
If you don't want to talk about it, don't dab in it. Because I'm like, okay, well, how was it with your dad? How was he there?
Talk about that. I want to bring.
Well, either you talk about it or you take it out.
Exactly.
And so for her, it was, I need to talk about it. And she talked about it and put it out there. And there was points in her book, I'm like, if I see your daddy,
right, you want to run up on him.
I'm gonna run up on him. And then her ex-husband, that one right there. And I don't want to fight everybody, but he's one on my list.
Right, and it's something about when you're sharing your truth, it's liberating for you.
Absolutely.
And it's liberating for your reader because they're able to say, hey, me too.
Me too.
I went through that experience and I'm not alone in what I'm going through anymore.
Absolutely. And that was one thing I love about her book. Her name is Toyanda Simone. Her story is called My Pain is My Purpose. And what I love about her is, as I was reading her story, I realized the pain of my purpose, and the common thread to the pain, particularly with men, was the relationship I had with my father.
Wow.
So I'm like, I am not ready to face this, but I'm facing it and realizing my dad was the first one, and the father to a child, a girl, should be the first one to love her, her first love, and should set the tone on how she perceives and receives men. For me, my dad lied. He made promises he did not keep. I remember one instance, I was maybe like 8 or 9. He said, I'm coming to pick y'all up, me and my little sister, take y'all to Seabreeze. Now, Seabreeze.
We waiting for Seabreeze. I'm dressed up at 7 a.m.
I knew what I was wearing. I had my mom braid my hair up. I'm ready to go. Had my outfit, I'm ready to go. He said, I'll be there at 10 o'clock. We didn't leave those steps. Our friends run around the neighborhood on a Saturday? Come on. And my dad didn't show up. We sat there all day. My mom knew he wasn't coming. It was the lights, street lights came on. She's like, y'all come in the house, he ain't coming. I cried myself to sleep. I thought it was something I did. and I never expressed it. I know how to.
Yeah.
So all those years, I thought it was my fault, and nobody ever told me it wasn't. And so when things started to happen in relationships with men, it was my fault. So now, I'm thankful for my client, because now I found that thread in my own life.
That's really good. That brings up a good point. Like, why do you think books are very essential tools for healing?
Because sometimes we can't speak it, but we can write it. And if you can write it, you're getting your thoughts out and you're saying, this is my truth. These are my facts. And when you begin to write it and you are pouring your heart out, you're releasing that pain. You're no longer bottling it up. And that can turn into reckless behavior, drug and alcohol abuse. For me, but keeping that anger and frustration in about my dad, I thought the only way I could show my love to a man was physically. And so it was like, yeah, that's not the way, honey. But glory to God, because he showed me the way.
Hey, glory.
He showed me the way. Thank you, Lord. So he showed me the way. And I think when I write and when people write stories about their lives, they're releasing that's things that's bottled up.
I knew before I wrote my first book, Free to Be Me, I'm Not My Issues, there was a silent frustration of not dealing with my issues, and not being able to express it to anyone verbally, and actually putting it down on paper was healing for me. In your advice, or as a professional who helps other people write books, what would you say to someone who has a story that's just constantly frustrating, and a silent frustration, a purpose just constantly bubbling inside?
Just in them, like, you
what
gotta
should they do?
Let that out. You gotta run to the bathroom real quick, get it out. And I would say just that, dump. Get it out.
Yes.
Like right now is a perfect time to buy notebooks. They're 25 cents. You're going back to school. Pens, packs of pens, $1. Dump it all out, because it's just killing you. And if you get it all out, even if when you self-publish, you can do it, and you can purchase this one copy for yourself. You'll never have to hit that button that says, yes, you can do one book, because you have the option to put on sale. You don't never ever have to put it on sale.
Get it out of you.
Get it out. You can even set up your whole account, purchase one book for yourself, then delete it. But you did it, and you got it all out. And then there might come a point later on down the road, you're like, you know what? I want to share the story. It's already done.
It's almost a tool for forgiveness, as you're writing, you're forgiving them as well as forgiving yourself. Right,
because forgiveness is for you. And I could tell you one instance, I had an ex-boyfriend. I haven't seen him since this happened, like maybe 2003, 2004.
Don't be looking up on social media, because we know how y'all do. Go ahead, girl.
Don't do it. Don't do it, devil. Don't do it. Block them now. Block them now, Lord. Block them now. So I had written a letter to him. And I cried writing that letter. And I told him how I felt. Everything he did to me. I wrote it. And I cried while I was doing it. And I ripped it up. And that was the end. Wow. That was it for me.
That is so healing.
That was it.
And then I have friends who laugh at me, because sometimes when I break up with somebody, I write like these Dear John letters, and I'm like, it'd be like a whole emotional.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! And I send it to them. They never read it. But
that's okay.
It's for me.
And I forgive you for what you did. Exactly. You had a whole other family.
Exactly. Ooh.
I forgive you.
This is getting ready to be a Lifetime movie, sis.
I forgive you. But that was for me, because that freed me. And I was free for so long, but then last year, I love you.
Yeah.
You love me. So what so my heart got tied up and tangled up in this man, and I've never been bitter through all my failed relationships. I would be angry. I get, you hurt, you move on. Yeah. But this was the first time I've ever been bitter, because I felt like everything he was saying to me was the God honest truth. And I learned that before the genuine comes, there's always a counterfeit. So he was just a crisp $100 bill. But that line, that bloodline of Christ, I didn't see it. I didn't hold him up to the light. Child didn't hold him up to the light. Yes. So that caused the root of bitterness in my heart. And God had taken me through a process to get it out. Now, I'm not going to say the name of the book, but I am one of 20 women who will be writing a chapter in an anthology of how you went from stress to success.
Exactly.
So that should be out. Promo on that rolls out next month. But I'll be talking about the bitterness.
That's a great thing, that because you're creating community as you're sharing your story in that project. And I'm going to be doing a project like that coming up soon. Stay tuned here on Audacious Believer TV. Yes.
Just putting it out there already.
So tell us a little bit about what it feels like to be an author.
Oh my God, it's an amazing thing, because when people find out you're an author, they're like, really? How did you do it?
Right.
But to chair, fingers to keyboard. I don't really know how else to tell you. But people, it's like if you could say I'm a doctor, and people are like, wow, you did that. But it's the same level, because it's time and dedication that people can't do.
It's almost like people want to know, when people ask, what do you do? They want to know what level of respect to give you, almost.
Yes, that's absolutely it.
They want to know what level of respect to give you, because then when they hear that you're an author, it's wow, something jumps inside of them.
Oh, yeah, so I'm a doctor, I'm an author. Oh, okay, because you put in that time, that dedication, and the money. So people respect you for those things, because they're like, oh, I can't do that. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't write a book for 6 months. Yeah. I couldn't do it for 12 months.
I tell people time is going to pass either way.
Right.
Whether you start or not, the time is going to pass.
It's going to pass. It's not waiting for you. So you either take advantage of it, or you just be like 30 years down the road and you're like, I wish I would have did this. One thing I tell, when I promote my business and when I tell clients is, there are thousands of New York Times best-selling books, 6 feet underground, because somebody, they didn't write that book. Don't take that New York Times bestseller with you. Write it and leave it here with us.
Exactly.
What good is it gonna do you when you die?
Exactly.
So you might as well write it, get it out, and just.
I think that's a mindset thing too. Yeah. That I can't compete with a Tony Robbins. I can't compete with a Lisa Nichols. I can't compete with these. You're in your own lane. There is no competition.
I got a lot of lanes.
Yeah, there's a lot of lanes, but you're in your own.
Yes, and I got like 12 of them. I got a Maserati, a BMW, Ferrari over here, a Maybach. I got a lot of lanes. I can get any one. Exactly. But they're mine.
Exactly.
They're mine. And you're not competing. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. So whatever you do has already been done. You just have to add your own unique spin to it. And I put it this way often. You cannot reinvent the wheel, but you can throw some rims on it. Exactly. The ones that keep spinning when you stop.
Pimp my story.
Yes.
Pimp my story.
You can pimp, like you said, pimp your story. Yes. You can add glitter to your rims. Like, I'm a natural hair girl, so I like all the olive oils and stuff to my rims. You can have them shiny. It's with your will, and you can line 30 wheels up, but everyone is uniquely different, but they're all a will. So don't think about, oh, well, so-and-so wrote a story about their life. That's not your life.
Right.
That's not your story. So
what is one action step that you can give to someone who has been maybe considering telling their story? What's the one action step you can give them starting tonight?
I would say, starting tonight, you want to, I'm going to write my book. Make a list of 5 things that are extremely important to you in your life, and talk about each one.
That's good.
And as you do that, find a common denominator between the 5.
Yes.
And the common denominator,
that's good.
That's what's going to help you make sure your book is cohesive.
Yes.
And it's not just a bunch of rants.
It's going to be something that you're actually interested in. It's not going to be something you're bored with, because if you're bored, you're not going to want to write it, trust me.
Listen, that is sir.
If you're bored, you're not going to want to write it.
If you're bored writing your own book, I've been there.
Yeah, you're like.
With 5 hearts, I'm writing, I'm like, this is not, let me put this in the side. Right. What am I missing? And I'm like, what am I doing? Why, what is going on?
Right.
And I had to stop. Left the book alone, started working on the short story, and then it hit me. I put too much information on this. Take all that out.
Right.
So if when it comes to fiction, if you write about a character, if you're not angry when you write it, if it doesn't make you cry, it's not going to translate to your audience.
Exactly.
So there was one point in 5 Hearts when the aunt was she's a racist, so she was belittling the children and everything, and she hit the oldest one. I was angry writing that, and I want you to, when you read it, if you're not angry, then something's wrong.
Exactly. When I write my books, I kind of put people in the scene with me.
Absolutely.
I want to feel myself back in that painful place. I'm a very emotional writer that I have to get there. I want to see there's a cup on the table. I want to be able to feel that there's air conditioning blowing on my skin.
It's called show and tell. So you don't want to tell the story. You want to show your story.
And give your people an experience while you're writing.
Absolutely.
Give them an experience. So I love it. I love it.
Physical. I like physical books. Ebooks are cool, but I'm physical because if I'm reading a book and I'm angry, I chuck it. Like, I cannot believe. And I have to get up, walk across the room to get the book. But I like that type of reading. I really enjoy that because you know that the person is really welcoming you into the world that they created. Wow. Even if it's a fiction or non-fiction, you're welcoming, if it's a book based on your life, you're welcoming people into your life by what you share. And if it's fiction, you're welcoming them into the world that you created, and you want them to feel like a fly on the wall and they know everything that's going on.
Right. I wonder, I know that for you, you're a person of faith, a great faith in God and great faith in the Christian religion. How do you, as a Christian, separate or maybe even include your belief system into your business?
I pray. Okay. I pray for my clients. I'll pray. I'm like, God, when I do the consultations, they share with me things that's going on with them. And before we end, it's okay if we pray. Yeah,
because you're mostly exclusively for clergy, right?
Yes. My target is clergy, because I believe that there's a generation of people who need what God has already downloaded in them.
That's a great,
and they need to get it out.
That's a great point. That you have to really find your niche and find out who you most can help with your story. Yes. And a lot of times you don't know until you actually write the story. Like when I wrote my first book, I didn't know that there was a market for people who wanted healing. That not just the laying hands on the head on a black church at an altar.
Don't touch me. I don't know if the hands are clean or not.
Going of me too, that I'm not alone in what I'm going through. So, are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Yes.
Favorite book?
The Coldest Winter Ever. Listen, I read that in 2 days when I was in high school. Stayed up all night.
Being grown. Favorite movie?
The Wiz. Hey! Listen, The Wiz is... If you are an African American person, if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, but not The Wiz, you're doing yourself a big disservice.
That whole part. I think the world is not just even African American. If anyone has not seen The Wiz yet,
you have to see it. Okay. Yes. I was talking to one. I had an interview the other night, and we were talking. She asked me what was my favorite movie. I said The Wiz, and she was like, "We should have a Wiz watch night party." I was like, "Hunter, you're not saying nothing but a word. Let's put it together." Because I would come all the way as Dorothy. Yes. And Eveline, I loved her. I was afraid of her as a kid, but I loved her.
Right. No, she was kind of scary. Though. Yeah. Finish the sentence. I believe
that everything is possible.
Finish the sentence. I feel God the most when.
I feel God the most when I am in my bedroom and I'm praying. And I feel him definitely when I'm crying. Either happy tears or sorrow. I feel the most.
To be audacious means to be
limitless.
Woo! Well, thank you so much. Make sure to let them know where they can find you online.
I am, you can find me on my website, www.ebonynicolesmith.com. Also, on social media, Instagram is at A Woman's Worth Series. That's a series that I have where I help women, inspire them to become the best woman that God wants them to be. And also my business page is ENS_consulting on Instagram as well.
Oh, thank you so much. That is awesome. So until next time, remember that life is meant to be enjoyed and not just endured. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, honey.